Welcome once again. How are you today? I hope you're all faring well. I am Dibia Wangu Chendo. Today we are going to discuss about Chi, how to recognize and align with your Chi. Moving forward, Chi is deep to explain, but in simplicity, Chi is a personal entity. Each person have their own Chi. The Chi is referred to one's internal divinity, as everything in existence has Chi. Your Chi is what gives you life and a purpose to life. Beyond being the giver and taker of your life, the Chi is your why. It is the reason you exist. The Chi determines your destiny and all of the details of your life and existence. The sum of all Chi is connected, which is known as Chukwu Okike or Chukwu Abiyama. As we know, in Igbo cosmology, we believe in duality, where everything is two. For example, we have male and female, up and down, front and back, right and left, good and bad. So is Chi na Eke. Chi being the father and Eke being the mother. Chi as the father is the beginning of all things. The cause, the idea, the reason, the intention, while Eke is the reality, manifestation, existence, and the effect. Chi na Eke are the process and formula that creates and governs the universe. Two that must come together to create a spark, because everything within the unseen and in existence is in the space of Chi, while all that is seen and in reality is Eke. We as beings exist as Eke in flesh, which is seen, but it is the Chi in us that gives us life and leads us, which is unseen. Well, you can say that what you seek to know, your Chi already knows. Hence the saying, Chi Kadibia. The Chi is greater than the wise man. You know, Igbo has an adage that says, Onye buru chi ụzọ, ọ gbagbuo onwe ya n'ọsọ. May that never be our portion. As the source of the idea that created you, you and your Chi will work together to fulfill your destiny. I hope you are listening, my viewers. You are free to make your decision, but your Chi determines the outcome. It is your Chi that knows what will happen in your future and your life as a whole. Chi is not only the bringer of good things, but the authorizer of bad things as well. Accepting your creator means accepting both good fortune and misfortune, struggle and strife. When people assemble to plan against you, if your Chi is not there, the plan will not work. Therefore, nothing happens to you without the authorization of your Chi. Your Chi is aware of everything. The Chi is what determines when and how and why someone will die, if at an old age or not. Onwu Chi is seen as a blessing as the individual has reached a matured age and is buried, so he or she can reincarnate. But if the person has a bad chi that brought mystery to the individual's life or the family of the person, is buried face down or not buried at all to avoid being an ancestor. That's assuming if the person has a bad chi, onye nwere ajọ chi, mee ajọ omume. You see, the person is buried face down or not buried at all to avoid being an ancestor, to avoid reincarnating, to avoid repeating what their chi brought upon them in their next life. Your individual chi is actually a god or goddess, which are parts of Chukwu, the great God. Each of us has a deity attached to us from the element of the day you were born. Alusi Sochi. Let us put it that way. As Eke is fire, a person's chi might be Anyang or Amadioha. There might be an Alusi in your family. In this context, Alusi means deity. In your family lineage, either from your paternal or maternal home. It can also be your chi. I advise you go for alpha consultation to know your chi and onye noro go ụwa. You need to have your obochi, that's altar or shrine where you pray, communicate, and also feed your chi. Your chi need to be called down into an oposi. Some Igbos call it okpesi. Some call it oposi, oposi chi. It's like a statue that is carved. Because during the olden days, there was nothing like photographs. So normally, the chi is represented with a statue that is carved. This is used to represent chi, and you place the statue at your altar. I don't know if you understand me. In the beginning, I said that chi has to be represented with a statue because there was no photograph then to represent the image like we have today now with the advent of technology. During the olden days, chi is represented with a carved statue, wooden statue. Well, Igbo has an adage that says, chi ji oke, chi ji akụ, chi bụ ụzọ, chi ji ndụ, chi bụ ọgwụ. It all means that one should align with one's chi so that these things will come forth and come to fruition in the person's life. We really need to align with our chi for our destinies to be fulfilled. Moving on, you can see it is very, very important in Igbo spirituality because knowing your chi is the best, is the ultimate for one to fulfill one's destiny. Like we normally say that okechi ka oko ogu. A good chi is better than charm. We normally pray that our chi should open door of blessings, finances, and good tidings in our lives. You can only say that kind of prayer when you are in good terms with your chi, when you have aligned with your chi, when you have done the spiritual ritual of aligning, installing your chi. It is very good. Now I want to shed more light on Okposi chi, or like some will call it Okpensi. Okposi is a statue in form of human image that is used to represent chi or ndị ichie or agwu, alụsị, and so on and so forth. Okposi is like an image. It is what you will use to focus on what to do, whatever you want to do or talk to. Because Okposi is there, but the spirit is in you. Are you listening? You have the essence, you have the extract of your chi existing inside of you. But physically, you want to use a representation so that you can accord it the respect or feed it or do the usual rite of inyechi nni, like we say in Igbo. During the days of our forefathers, there were no pictures or images to remember somebody or something or how the person looked like. You know, our forefathers, they created their own image using wood carving. Okposichi, like we say. We also have Okposi alụsị, Okposi agwu, Okposi ikenga, Okposi chi, Okposi ndị ichie. These are the kind of carved representation. During our forefathers and many years ago, so many families have their own agwu, their own ndị ichie, maybe from Obi Umunna, or some will call it Mbala. You know, during those days, after building your own house, some would like to visit their own ndi ichie, where you will be talking to your ancestors directly every morning. Some would like to go to their Obi Umunna or Obi Mbala to perform some sacrifice, and then they might use Ogilishi stick. They might take it home to have their own personal ndi ichie at home, where they will be doing their morning egofo instead of visiting ndị ichie umunna or the general Obu every day. But the Okposi will still remain in their Obi umunna, where all of them are separated, unless the person has a call. Do you understand? Onye nwere ọkpụkpọ oku na ndụ ya, for example, like a dibia, myself. That is when the person will think of having his or her own Okposichi at home, because one will be making use of them every day and at every moment. But if not, one only have to use Ogilishi altar or visit the general family Obu anytime one wants to have a special sacrifice. That is the same with Okposi agwu and the rest of it. You can get Okwu agwu umunna, where you visit family agwu. There you have all the ezumezu Okposi agwu kept somewhere inside the Obu. You can still go home with maybe Ogilishi or anything to make agwu altar, where you talk to your agwu anytime you like. Some prefer talking to their agwu via the sun, anyanwụ na-agbala, anytime they want to offer something. But some, when they want to perform a serious sacrifice, they will visit their main Obu. But here I want to clarify that those who have a call in their life, those with Okpukpo Oku, they normally feast their own agwu at home with their own agwu with them, with every instrument of agwu with them. Everything will be complete. Yes, because they will use it to work at any time. So there's no need keeping theirs at the general Obu. You know, Edibia has to personalize his own altar or shrine, where they commune or communicate with their ezumezu agwu. Now, this Okposichi, let me explain better. In Igbo land, we believe that everybody should have a deep connection with their own chi. Everybody with his own chi. That's where the name Chi Abuotu came from, unlike Agu or Ndi Ichie. You see, a whole family can have something in common, something in general. Let me state, for example, a whole family can have the same Akwali Omomo, the same Ndi Ichie, the same Agu, the same Arobunagu, but Chi is different. Everybody have their own Chi. Well, some people believe their Chi is with them, so no need of having any other image or opposite for their Chi. But whenever they want to offer sacrifice to their Chi, they will make small altar for their Chi and feed their Chi. After doing that, they will sweep everything away. But you see, particularly for those with Opupoku, for those that have call, mostly they have their Chi somewhere in one corner of their room, or what we call their open more. So that anytime they want to offer their sacrifice to their Chi, they want to appease their Chi, or they want to feed their Chi, they just go there and feed their Chi at their more. But those with Opupoku, those without Opupoku, can offer their Chi sacrifice without opposite Chi. I don't know if you understand. It is mandatory for those with Opupoku to have their Chi with them, even have it represented using opposite Chi. But for those without any call to serve, they can offer their sacrifice to their Chi without opposite Chi. Yes, they can just use akuku ogilisi and cut out some sticks of ogilisi, one representing Chi, one representing Ikenga, and just use it like that after feeding their Chi. That's all. But for the person that has a call to serve, like I myself, Edibia, I have my Chi and Ikenga, opposite Chi and Ikenga. The same thing with Ofo. Edibia has to have their own Ofo. But mainly, there is a general Obu where the Ofo will remain in the family Obu unless the person's family feel it is time to have their own Ofo and opposite, they can arrange for that one. But everyone must not have Ofo. Everybody must not have opposite. Well, sometimes in this present dispensation, when you visit a Dibia or Akajiofo to help you feed your Chi for you for the first time, because they have Ofo to welcome Chi the first day, before you can continue feeding them on your own, you have to be careful. It is not a must that you will have opposite Chi for you that doesn't have any call in your life. All what you need is that you need to feed your Chi. And for the first time, feeding Chi has to be done by an Akajiofo. Every Dibia is an Akajiofo, but every Akajiofo is not a Dibia. You see? So, nobody should force anyone to have an opposite Chi, especially if the person does not have a call. You can just use ogilisi leaves, like I said earlier, and cut 2 sticks of that same ogilisi. One should represent Chi, and the other one should represent Ikenga if the person has an Ikenga. But you see, some Dibias today, they will force you to have opposite Chi, opposite Ichie, opposite Agu, everything together. So maybe after feeding all these things at the Dibia's place, you abandon them there. Then one day again, you need to feed your Chi. Then the Dibia will also use them to feed your Chi. But it's not a must that we must have opposite Chi for those who don't have a call. So it's not good that you have, okay, assuming you want to feed your Chi, you that don't have a call, you want to have opposite Chi, you will feed your Chi in the village. feed your chi in the city. Maybe if you are living in diaspora, you also feed your chi in diaspora. You have opposite chi up and down everywhere. So it's not advisable you do that. But if you have access to akwụkwọ ogilishi, kataya, up to like 7 pieces, then cut some sticks of that same ogilishi, cut it into 2, use one to represent chi and the other one ikenga, so that things will be easy. We don't have to make this ordinary journey to be very tough or difficult. So when you want to feed your chi, you have to do it well, accord your chi respect. As a dibia, you don't force someone to have an opposite chi, because most people use it today as a thriving business. Just make an altar for the person's chi in your place with ogilishi leaves. Feed the person's chi and probably alusi sochia, miri sochia, and the rest of it, using that ogilishi leaves. And later, after doing that, you can sweep the place away, so that the person can go now. Anytime he wants to feed chi, you can do it next time. But unless the person has a call to serve, that is only one okpukpoku, you have to have your own opposite chi. Even if the person has a okpukpoku, you can still make ordinary altar for the person for the first time. That's the first day you are doing alignment with chi. You can use ogilishi. But if Alpha insists that this person's chi must feed him with an opposite, you go ahead. That is very, very okay. You know, some people, they see this statue as, that is why they call us Nanefe Alusia Pelapi. But it's just a means to have access, a means to venerate, not that they worship the statue. But once you are not a dibia, please, I would like to urge our fellow dibia not to force people to be having opposite chi up and down, because it is not a must. Do you understand? So that is it. Why do we have to acknowledge our chi? Well, we have to acknowledge our chi because we were reincarnated by someone. That is chi noro mmadụ ụwa. Ndị Igbo believe so much in reincarnation. When you research, you will find out that some people reincarnated, and there are some things spiritually that accompanied the Chionye Noro mmadụ ụwa to this earth to come back again. We have things like Ngu, a spiritual tree. We have order. We have Miri, Alusi. That is why we say Miri Sochia, Alusi Sochia, Akpu Sochia, Ogilisi, Oku Anyanwu, and so on and so forth. But these things are termed Ifeso Onye Owagi. They are all Ngusochi, Nguso Onye Owa, or Mirisochi, Miriso Onye Owa. More especially if your Onye Owa is a dibia or a spiritual person. You see, all this helped the Onye Noro mmadụ ụwa to be successful during their stay in the world. Like Miri, during the person's time, he can't do without a river or Ngu. Or Alusi, maybe the person's power comes from Alusi. Equivalent, you can equate it to angel. When we say Alusi, some say, it's Fiakwa. And then for Alusi. The angels that you mention their names in churches, what are they? Don't you have your angel Michael, angel Gabriel, angel Uriel? Okay, that aside, Akpu is a spiritual tree. Some accompany Chonye noro mmadụ ụwa to the world. Do you understand? So when this person reincarnates to continue from where they stop, those elements will join the person. Sometimes when you go to Alpha, the Dibia will tell you, you are from this and that. Aluse noro gị ụwa, mmiri bịara gị ụwa, nguso chi gị, nguso chi ụwa gị, ikuku bịara gị ụwa, akpụ noro gị ụwa. That does not mean that you reincarnated from these things to avoid confusion, because your Onyuwa is a human being like you. Those other things, you can say that they are Ifeso Chigi or Ifeso Onyuwage. That is the reason why anytime you want to feed your chi, you want to welcome your chi or align with your chi, you will also feed more so chigi. And again, if your chi is deep, you are a spiritual person, you first of all step down the person's akpa ikpotu akpa oji ruoru dibia. So that if you want to continue from where your reincarnator, who was the dibia, stopped, you must step down the person's back in case there are causes following the person. I don't know how to explain this, but during the chi alignment and all that, before you can do this, you have to clear your path spiritually to clear off anything that your chi has done before when they were alive, previously in their lives, to avoid having problem presently, because you that is a living person is now the living chi that one can see. Probably your chi has committed abortion, or your chi did juju, onye chi gwara ọgwụ before in their previous life. Before you can do the spiritual rite and process of Ikpotuchi and Ikenga, you will have to clear your path. Do you understand? You have to clear the path of the former chi. If you don't do that, if there are causes following your chi, that means you will inherit it. Do you understand? Obu na onwelu onu abụrụ chi gị, ịma na mgbe anwanyị na akpọtuchi onye nọrọ gị ụwa, you will inherit it too, and it will start affecting your life. So the best advice is for you to do what? To clear your path first before you bring down your chi. Kpochasịa ụzọ gị. Ọ bụ na chi gị metele ife akalogeli. Ụfọdụ na-asị na akalogeli. Ikpochapịa. Ọ bụ na chi gị gwọrọ ọgwụ, ikpochapịa. Ọ bụ na chi gị mere alụ ma na o zuru ori, kpochapịa ife anwaso chi gị. Remove it. It's like a stain. It's like uchu, bad energy, negative aspect. Because nobody is perfect. You have to do spiritual cleansing. That is why sometimes you hear during Afa, you have to clear it off. That spiritual debris, you clear it off to avoid calamity, to avoid your destiny being tainted. It is very, very, very important. Else, it will start disturbing. Because some people, some Dibia will just go ahead to bring down and align one with the person's chi without clearing the person's path. Because they have already heard chibuzo. Say, chibuzo. You first of all align the person with the chi without checking to see if there are negative things associated with the person's chi in the person's previous life. It is very, very important, my people. As you are listening to me, I want you to understand that you need to clear your path spiritually before you can align with your chi, to avoid bringing back the negative debris, the negative uchu stain. that accompanies the person's Chionyo Noria Wa. So after clearing all those things off, you can now bring down your chi. For example, if once she committed abortion in one's previous life, you need to cleanse off that stain. It is a spiritual stain, especially for those who have call to serve, to be dibias. Someone she who might have been a musician in the former life, now you want to align with your chi presently. You have to clear off anything that is a negativity with that your chi before when he was a musician. Then you have come to earth now and you have to start from where you stopped before previously. You need to clear off that stain. Some people, they might have offended other people, and you see people lay curses on them. And you that you want to align with your chi, you didn't even care to ask deep question during Alpha consultation to find out. If Alpha mentions something like that, please don't say, hey, chimu meteremo, neke odilichi difa. No, you don't utter such words. What do? You make sure that you clear off that spiritual debris so it will not affect you presently in your life. I hope I'm making sense. So once you do the cleansing, you will be free. You will not have any hiccup presently on earth. You will not have those causes following you now. Because I told you earlier that everyone has an essence, an extract, a residue of their former life in their present. That is why chi is important. That is what I said. And before you align with your chi, you check. Onwere alu chi norogi uwa mel. Onwere ife o metalo. Onwere ife suya. Because it can bring setback to your life in the present. Kitafo. Imalugo. Ibu onye ordinary. Isi di choi potu chigi. Nikenga. Agbala gafa. Inanya fu. Na chi norogo uwa mekwala abortion ma ọ gwọrọ ajọ ọgwụ. Ma ọ na o zuru ori. Ma ọ na abụrụ ya ọnụ. You have to clear off those spiritual stains before you can align with that your chi. Yes, you need to cleanse it off. You need to clear it off. So it will be easier for you. You have to reap from the positive aspect of that your chi. I hope I'm communicating. Well, let's go on to how to communicate with your chi. How do you communicate with your chi? You have to have a personal relationship with your chi. It is a personal thing, not a general affair, please. It can only be a general affair when you go to Alpha and there are some things you have to cleanse off your chi. So some negativities, like I mentioned earlier. That is where the Dibia can assist you. You do the spiritual works to cleanse it off. But once you have now aligned with your chi, you personalize your chi. When speaking to your chi for a favor, it has to be a negotiation than begging and pleading. You see, in Igbo spirituality, we do not beg. We do not plead. Rather, we state our intentions or we make declaration. That is some things that other people imported into Igbo spirituality, into ordinary. We do not close our eyes like you do in your churches to pray. We open our eyes, sitting down with a stool or standing up, and you talk respectfully. You don't shout. You don't speak in tongues, blah, 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 blah. Or shout when you are talking to your chi or to some other spirits, or to your ancestors, ndi chi, or to your water family, ndi mirigi. Do you understand? If you want something good for yourself, kindly explain it to your chi why you deserve it. It sounds funny, right? But it's not funny at all. Don't beg. Why stating your intentions in ordinary? It requires you sit upright with a stool or stand with nzu in your hands, professing the cleanliness of your hand, purity, with your heart, mouth, and mind. You profess of any wrongdoing, if ọjọọ email. Ikwupụta n'okwu, all the evil intentions, anything you speak, you ask for favors after doing the previous ones. You speak with your eyes open as if you are talking to someone in front of you. You have to inform your chi before you begin anything so that you can get the support and protection of your chi. If you to chi, you see why your chi is important. Your chi is like a spirit inside of you. Let's say it is also your conscience. It is also your guardian. You can't do without chi. Chi is like a 4-dimensional spirit. It goes out before you to bring things to you, to clear your path, to mediate, to negotiate. Do you understand? It's like a higher form of oneself. It also bears witness for you. I don't know if you understand. Well, I'll try to explain the best way I can so that you understand me. Whenever you ask for a request from your chi, you have to attach a promise of an offering. Now, I want you to know that you have to promise what you can afford and don't fail on your promise. When your request aligns with your chi or your chi accepts your request and you succeed, then you have to return to your chi and give it thanks. Praise your chi. Give offerings like chicken, goat, ram, or cow, depending on the magnitude of what your chi did for you. And it also depends on your promise to your chi. Talk to your chi daily to build a strong bond, like I do by myself. I feed my chi every 3 months. Yes, I can sit down by myself. Those things that I think is difficult in my life, I will just sit down and talk to my chi about it. If there are intentions I want to be taken care of, I'll talk to my chi. Chim, onye nọrọ m ụwa. Ọkwa mụnwa bụ dibịa nwa ngwu uche ndụ. Na-akparịta ụka. Mụ na gị. Nzi ka m bịa ka m kọsara gị ife dị otu a. Do you understand? This is personalizing your chi, having a personal relationship with your chi. You talk, you speak as if you can see that your chi, because you are speaking out life, you are speaking out power. Your chi is there, spiritually. If your eyes are open, you can even see your chi, because some appear to us in the dream. Even before you align with your chi, there is somebody that comes to you in your dream. That later, if you pay attention, you might ask the person, who are you? And the person will now introduce himself or herself to you. Well, that is Igbo spirituality for you. So it depends on your promise to your chi. Talk to your chi daily to build a strong bond. And how do you do that? You use the items for Igommo and bond with your chi. You use Nzu, Edo, Oji, that's kola nut. Mmanya alligator pepper. Alligator pepper is for cleansing. Now, let me mention the items used to align and feed your chi. Chi and Chiwa are mistaken to be the same, but during our consultation, when chi is mentioned, your onyenorogiwa shows up. Yes, it will show up because you have extract, essence of your chi inside of you. Chi is your spirit guide to your destiny, while Chi Uwa is your onyenorogi Uwa who comes back to fulfill a purpose on earth. Well, you can also say they are one. Yes, because once someone reincarnates, you see, this ritual aligns you with your Chiwa on earth. Making peace with your Chiwa is necessary to help you fulfill your purpose on earth. Before you do this, you have to know your Chiwa's name through Afa. But nowadays, it has caused a lot of confusion. Yes, because we have all grown, done a lot of things, corrupted our spirit. That is when you go to Alpha, you want to know your chi. You see 2 or more people dragging to become your chi. Yes, so they want to recognize and align with you. But you have to be careful. Most times, you see, to avoid this, to avoid feeding the wrong chi, I normally advise individuals to avoid looking for the name. Ka ise ka ịmala afa chi onye nọrọ gị ụwa ọ bara uru to avoid feeding the wrong person ewetara ọgbaghara na ndụ gị. So I don't advise individuals to do it to avoid mistake of feeding the wrong chi. If your parents did not do the findings at your young age, chances of knowing the right chi is very slim. Just be neutral and personalize your chi as chim. Chim. To feed one's chi, what you do is calculate the amount of money these items that I'll mention will cost. Or if you cannot, you send it to the person that will do it for you to buy it by himself. Or you buy it by yourself and take it there. Then you can ask the dibia as the wine how much he wants you to pay for his services. Because for the first time you want to align with your chi, an Akajofo has to do it for you spiritually to bring him down. Because you don't have direct access then. You need the dibia, services of a dibia to bring your chi down for the first time. Then you watch how the things, how the feeding process is being done, so you can do it subsequently the next time. You can learn from the dibia in case you want to feed your chi on your own. Well, items like oke na nwunye ọkụkọ, male and female, Okwosi chi and Okwosi ikenga. That's for people that have call. But if you don't have a call to serve in your life, you are not called as a dibia, you can use akwụkwọ ogilishi, like I said previously, and two twigs of osisi ogilishi to represent chi and ikenga. Uriọma ọkụkọ for cleansing, kola nut, uso ọjị, that is alligator pepper, 4 big yams representing the 4 market days, Eke, Oria, Fonko. But nowadays things are costly. If you can be able to afford 2 big yams, it's okay. Snap, manyoku. Then you need nzu edo, keg of palm wine, crate of beer, or carton of mineral. This depends on how elaborate you want to make it. Whether you are inviting your friends and family to celebrate with you. Twigs or branches of ogilishi leaves. You can also add salt and pepper. They are spices to cook the yam and chicken. Well, just do it accordingly how your community does their things. Do you understand? The spiritual rite and process of Ikpotuchi and Ikenga. You see, our Ikenga works together with our Chi and can be appeased together without having to separate the males. Ijegobe nka iche, ka inyebe ikenga gị n'iche, ka inyebe chi gị n'iche. Ọ dịrọ mma, ị ga-ewekọfa na abụọ ọnụ. Ịghọtago, wee mee nya. Nya bụ na it is good to feed your chi and ikenga together to avoid unnecessary expenses or feeding it differently. Like I said earlier, you need the services of a dibia to do it for you for the first time, to align you spiritually with your chi, and also so that you will learn how to feed your chi subsequently. That uburo okoko is used to cleanse you, to cleanse your okposi chi. Cleanse everything around you on that day, because a young chick is very powerful. So after the cleansing, the process of feeding one chi the ritual will start. Anything that has a process is termed a ritual now. So, chi is important in one's life. It's good for one to know one's reincarnator. That's onye nọrọ mmadụ ụwa. It is good you know, so that you equally discover your destiny in life. So that you know what you are here on earth to do. Some come to earth, they don't know what they are here to do. That is why for those who have okpukpo and they don't know, they are suffering it because of unappeased agu. But if they go to Afa and Afa reveals things about them, you will now know from where to start. Because either previously somebody from your lineage have done this dibia or as a wine work. You will now know from the person's past life how the person walked. If the person's wasn't a dibia, no, an ordinary person, like a very powerful businessman, very powerful musician, you now know and know how to live your life. Maybe follow the same footstep and make it more successful, so you can avoid the previous mistake your Onyenoroguwa did before. Do you understand? I talked about removing causes that comes with someone's chi Onyenoro Madowa. This is very, very important because of some of our dibias that rush this Botuchi ceremony without checking to see ma chi ya gwọrọ ọgwụ ma ọ bụ chi ya ezuru ori ma ọ bụ mere alụ, committing incest or abortion. You really need to cleanse off the negative aura. You really need to cleanse off before you align with your chi. If you don't cleanse off without before aligning with your chi, you are bound to have problems. Yes, you are bound to have problems, as those negative residues will affect you presently. It will make you not to achieve success. It will bring calamity upon the person's life. Do you understand? So you really have to know things about your chi. That is why I advise people to go close to their parents or to their grandparents. Know your history. It is always good you know your history. You don't just live empty like that. Sometimes the Dibia will not see everything, but with your history, if you are helpful, it can the Dibia can now help you trace it spiritually to check if what you said is right. You understand? It is not everything that the Dibia will see. That is why it is good for you to know your history. You can now mention it to the Dibia if there is need, so that he will take it up from there and make some inquiries spiritually based on this your history or the research. That is why I always advise people to trace their history, make research of your family history before your ndichie, before the elder, before they will die, so that you will know. Because the Dibia will not see everything. You only have to support the Dibia with some family history, so that they can help solve a problem or help give you an advice on the way to go about it. It is also good you know your foundation, in case there are certain things you notice about your life. So you can ask questions. Then they will tell you, so person, you used to behave like the person. You will now inquire how the person lived his or her life before the person passed away. It helps during this Chi, Ikpotu Chi ceremony. It helps. So that when you know the person's story, you will know whether he did good deeds or bad deeds. So you can correct it and trace the mistake. Because if these mistakes are not corrected, it will get worse. And the cause will continue if the person is caused to chonye n'ọrụ mmadụ ụwa. Ọ bụ na abụrụ ya ọnụ because na ọ nwere ife o mere. Like onye nwere abortion, they can say utterances like, ịma mmụta nwa n'ụwa ga. Then the person reincarnates and has become an adult. And also cannot have a child. But this is not that the person has medical problems. It's spiritual. That's how you will have to term it. So if the person goes to Afa and discovers this, that onye nori owa melife metelife alua, that is why it's very, very necessary to cleanse. The cleansing I'm talking about is not to bathe with water and leave. There are some spiritual works that takes the form of that, like Ikochununu for Chenoro Madowa that did the abortion. Epwalo. Do you understand? These are the heavy, the standard type of spiritual cleansing. So that you will not add fresh causes upon your life. You add the fresh one and the old one together. If not, the person will be having problem now. Or when you want to make an achievement, those causes will rise up against the person. You have to cleanse. You have to really ask deep questions to know what your reincarnator onye nọrọ gị ụwa kedu ife o mere mgbe ọnwa ọ dịbụ ndụ. O mere ezigbo ife ka o mere ajọ ife. So that you will not continue carrying over those causes, those evil deeds your reincarnator did, committed before in their past life. You should be able to know your history so that you can trace very well, so that when the person reincarnates, you cleanse off. It will not keep reoccurring and reoccurring and reoccurring again. That's for the cause to be affecting the person. Do you understand? For example, there are causes like if your reincarnator stole, obunozulori. You see, it will involve people to be raining causes, abuses on the person. When you were alive in the previous life, it will attract causes to the person's life. So will be swearing, you will die like chicken. This, that. All this need to be cleansed off from your reincarnator. That is why it is good to know your chi. For you to do exploit on earth. In your life presently and know how to go about solving it. Avoid those causes. You have to step down the bag so that the causes will not follow you in your present life. It is also good for you to know your history and know what to avert. Trace your family history. Trace your chi. Know all the spirit that accompanied your chi when he was alive previously. Work on it. Work on them. Because when you're feeding your chi, you have to feed those spirits too, so that they will also work in your favor. That is Igbo spirituality for you. It's very dynamic. So that you avoid making mistake. Trace where you are coming from to know where you are going to. If you fail to trace who you are or where you are coming from or your family foundation, you will be stagnant. You will also continue making the same mistake over and over and over again when you reincarnate or when you reincarnate someone else to continue from where you stopped. Even though you didn't start from anywhere, not to talk of stopping somewhere. You see, one of the reasons Afa will tell some people that their chi onyowa is a dibia is for you to know somebody has done this before previously in your lineage, so you don't have to fear. With the knowledge of your family history, you will now know, oh, onye noromo wa no dibia. Okwe ezigbote dibia. Na nasi na akpolo mmadu bata na bie onye na nwa nsho okpokpota enya or revive wire. So won't you aspire to do good? during your Dibiaism. You have to aspire now to do more. To work with clean hands. So if your children Norogewa is a businessman or a woman, you also know from that history. That is why if they have call and they are telling they have call in their life because they are Onyowa, they are reincarnator, was supposed to do this dibia, but Onye Norohowa was adamant. At the end of the day, the person was a businessman or a woman. You see, some people that have chi like that, they find it difficult to believe that they have call to serve as a dibia because they will be feeling, nobody did this thing in my family. Nobody was a dibia. Nobody was an Ezewine. I'm using this example because it's the one I'm familiar and conversant with, and that has happened to me in my life. Do you understand? So you'll be finding it difficult because the person might have refused to do this dibia call in their past life. Manaomarahama, they are supposed to do it, but they didn't. That is why the person is now reincarnating back. And if you don't know your chi and to align with your chi, how will you know that the person had a call but he refused to do it? So you are now back again to finish up what you started, what you rejected. You have to finish it up. You now have to do it. Or else you continue reincarnating and reincarnating. That is why I say know your history, trace your history, know your foundation, so it will be well for you. You know where to start from. You know who did it before you, or if the person didn't do it, you now know the reason why you are back. Because many don't even know why they are back to earth, back here on earth till they die. Millions of people refuse to answer their call. Some know, but insisted they won't because of their background. Some even change that their call. They say he's a pastor and evangelist. I laugh in ordinary. There is no pastor, prophet, or whoever evangelist that does not have a spiritual lineage. If they want to be honest, let them trace their ancestral background. Pastor appellation and prophet or prophetess appellation is for the imported religion. But trace the person's family history, trace the ancestral background. You know where the person is coming from. No, dibia kobo. Obiazie na eme na ya bụ onye ụka ka o mebezie pastor and evangelist. I laugh. So former dibias need to trace their onye ụwa through what your chi did in his first coming. If your chi was an aka Diofo or Ezemwa, you will know. If you see Ofo in the hands of the person, you will have to ask questions. Is there any late aka Diofo from your family? Maybe your father will tell you, yes, so my late father or my late great-grandfather. Do you understand? So once you trace, you will now know. Well, gradually we are coming to an end. I would like to say that if anyone has a question based on this topic, you can as well get through to me via ADM radio page. You can drop your question on the page. Someone will be there to answer you. I told you it is important to know your chi, align with your chi, feed your chi for your destiny to come forth, for you to avert calamity, for you to avoid danger, for you to know why you are on earth, for you not to be confused. Try to know your foundation so that you will know your calling. So your life will not be on a standstill. Do you understand? And also, I said it is not necessary you mention the name of Chino Noronyowa to avoid feeding the wrong person. Just personalize the person as Chigi, Chim, or you say Chi, onye noro na maka ụwa bịa welu oke gị. Simple. That is it. No matter the level you find yourself, please align your chi. Align with your chi, know your chi. You have 85% of chances of survival here on earth today. So see you next time, next week, as we do justice to another episode, another topic. I would like to sign off here. Bye.